Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Thursday, the 15th of January 2026. I'm Graham Hughes. You're watching Morning Brew on Politics Social, where you like to get together every morning and, talk about the shit that's going on in the world. So, before we get into that, big shout out to Elle and Diz and Billy in the chat. We've got Dork 4x4 in there as well. We've got Gallifrey and Ren. Hello, everybody. How are you all doing this fine morning? If you'd like to join our friends in the chat here, all you need to do is hit the subscribe button, wait for 1 minute, and then you can enter the chat. But don't be disrespectful. Don't insult anyone in the chat, or me. You can insult politicians if you like. That's their fair game. But nothing. No, I don't want any conflicts. Okay, there's other parts of the internet you can go to if that's how you get your kicks. I don't know. Talking of getting me kicks, I'm going to set a goal before I get started because it's quite a heavy topic today, so it might be a bit inappropriate for me to stop halfway through to say, drop a super chat. But we're gonna drop the confetti. We're gonna load up the confetti cannon for Diz. So today we're going to be talking about Elon Musk. I'm sorry. He's taken over Twitter. He's made it shitter, literally. X-itter. This shitter, this Twitter that he's bought, this X, it's Elon Musk's in-house AI system. It's called Grok, which sounds like the noise that you make when you're trying to like hock up a bit of phlegm. Grok. It's built by XAI and integrated directly into Twitter, or X, formerly Twitter, meaning it instantly had hundreds of millions of users and a built-in distribution channel. Musk marketed this Grok piece of shit as truth-seeking and anti-woke and free speech, and it was an AI designed to be less restricted than rivals like ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini or Copilot. From day one, Grok's brand identity was not safety, reliability, nor public good. It was about edginess, rebellion, rule breaking, and being a big fucking paedophile. Deliberately pitched at people angry about moderation elsewhere. Like moderation that stops you making content that's actual child abuse. Yeah, they were really angry about that. And that framing matters because it was primed to test how far they could push it, especially around children, sex, violence, and taboo content. And the beginning of this year, X and XAI deliberately enabled, because this isn't available on any other AI bit of large language model image generation. This is not available. You cannot do this on any of the others. And until very recently, you could not do this on Grok either. So they obviously had some guardrails put in place that if someone typed in, take this child's clothes off into the search prompt, it would say, no, not doing that. Not fucking doing that, you fucking weirdo. And I'm going to report you to the police. Automatic reporting of the police. But Grok decided to enable real person image editing with no safety guidelines at all, except that they couldn't be completely naked. But as hundreds, thousands, perhaps millions of horrible little teenage shits and older, disgusting, gruesome perverts quickly found out there were ways around it. So you can say, put them in a see-through bikini, for instance. You could take real photos of real people and modify them. It launched, without it launched without clothing removal or without sexualization safeguards, despite them being standard on every responsible AI image system. There was no age verification, no content verification, no blocking of sexualized outputs involving real people. This was not an accident. This was an explicit product decision that they made. These disgusting, gruesome vampires around the board table. They said, how can we get Grok to number one of the downloads charts all over the world? And one of those people might have been Elon Musk, one of the other disgusting executives that work for this disgusting company, put their hand up and said, how about child abuse? And everyone else went, what? How about we make it so people can abuse children for a couple of weeks, big kickoff around the world. You know, the Indian government getting involved, the people in the government of Malaysia and Singapore will ban it. It'll be brought up in Parliament in the UK, and it'll become the number one download around the world on the Play Store and the Apple Store. This was not an accident. This was an explicit product decision to remove safety rails in order to get more customers. This is the equivalent of Mars giving away a picture of a naked child that you know, maybe you're the teacher of said child, to everyone who buys a Mars bar. I mean, there's no good to come of this. This is absolutely fucking disgusting. From the top to the bottom, to the left to the right, this is fucking off the charts, sickening and depraved that a private company has weaponized child abuse images in order to sell copies of its product, sell subscriptions to its product. Users very rapidly discovered they could digitally undress women, girls, and children using Grok. Thousands of non-consensual, sexualized images flooded X within days. Within a couple of weeks, there were millions. And these weren't abstract AI figures. These were real people scraped from Instagram, school books, Facebook, TikTok. You imagine there's a sicko teacher who has a pupil in their school that they're a little bit obsessed with, and they get a picture of this kid, and then they put it into Grok. What are they going to do with that? And don't forget, it wasn't just taking the clothes off. It was abusing these. It was putting bruises on their faces, cigarette burns, worse. The system made it easy, fast, and scalable. And these people go, oh, you could do the same thing on Photoshop. First of all, fuck you. Tell me you've never used Photoshop without saying you've never used fucking Photoshop. But the idea that you could draw it, I don't know. Because if you've got to do this kind of imagery on Photoshop, you'd have to go onto the dark fucking web and get a picture of another child who's naked or in a bikini and then map the head of the child that you have an unhealthy obsession with onto the other person, onto the other kid's body. So there's so many laws that you are breaking by doing that. It'll take fucking ages and it'll look shit. Wouldn't look real. Especially if the vast majority of people who don't know how to use Facebook, don't know how to use Photoshop, obviously. But like this abuse, which in the past, people might have been able to draw horrific pictures. You know, people might have been able to, who were very good on Photoshop, might have been able to do a sort of collage and put this stuff together. This meant someone with Grok, anyone without any talent at all, an image that would have taken hours to create by someone who was an expert at Photoshop, took seconds by someone who is an expert in nothing. And this was the thing is with like AI, it doesn't decide to create these images. It follows system rules, you know? You can't misuse a system unless that system is set up to be misused, unless there are loopholes that you can dive through. If those loopholes don't exist, you can't dive through them. You can't make this kind of imagery using the built-in Firefly image generator on Photoshop. You can't even make fire, most of the time, because it's like, I'm not going to show this building on fire. I'm not going to make that. That is a harmful content. That is a violent content. If Grok can produce sexualized images of real people, it means that that XAI explicitly allowed it in the model and in the image pipeline. And every serious AI lab blocks this at the architectural level because it is illegal. In many countries, it exposes minors, it abuses minors, it creates permanent sexual exploitation material. So that fictional fucked up teacher who's got an unhealthy obsession with one of the kids in their class that they teach, right? Now might have hundreds of images of one particular child in states of undress and abuse. And what are they going to do with those images? I don't need to paint a picture, do I? And then that triggers the obsession some more, and children are already being abused by the fact that these pictures exist, but this has opened the door for further abuse, further obsession by disgusting, gruesome old men, but also by their peers in school. You bet your bottom dollar that like thousands of school kids, teenage boys, red pilled up on the bullshit, the propaganda that they're being fed by the likes of Andrew Tate. They're not going to think twice about taking a picture of one of their schoolmates and putting it through this Grok filter to take their clothes off. And then use that to humiliate and degrade that person in that child. Grok did this. Did none of this. Grok was happy to to put this stuff out, millions of images, until governments, regulators, and app stores intervened. Mostly, probably the app stores saying we're not going to allow your product to go out on our platforms. And then Musk publicly claimed he was not aware of any naked underage images generated by Grok. He wrote that on X, apparently. And then people just posted loads of pictures, thousands of pictures in response of naked underage images that were created by Grok. For him not to say, "Oh, I'm not aware of it," the images went viral on his own fucking platform. On his own platform, journalists, NGOs, safety researchers have been reporting it. Moderation teams inside X would have been flagging it immediately. This is not a knowledge failure. This is this is him saying, "Oh, I've got no idea that I killed all those people. I just woke up and they were all dead." And then the video comes out of him killing all these people with glee and going, "Oh, well, The real reason why they've changed tack on this yesterday and now they've brought in moderation is because of app stores, right? The UN senators formally asked Apple and Google to remove Grok from their shops. California's Attorney General opened an investigation and UK regulators launched probes and new criminal laws came into force this week. Malaysia and Indonesia have banned it outright, and suddenly Musk and XAI announced new protections, showing that from the start, they always had the ability to switch it off. But here we go. Okay, so here's the timeline. This image generator on Grok launches with no safeguards. Sexualized images of minors explodes across X. Grok shoots to number one in the app charts around the world. Media attention goes global. It's mentioned in Parliament, Ofcom, Apple talk about it, Google, Attorney Generals get involved, senators get involved in America. Only then, once it's been number one for a couple of weeks, the restrictions appear. This is a growth hack. A growth hack involving child abuse. And like I was going off on one the other day about get the fuck off Twitter. Please, I beg you, I implore you, if you are still on Twitter, if you still use that fucking noxious hate machine, fucking just walk away. You don't need it. There are other platforms. It's fine. You will grow your audience again. Grow your audience on here. If you've got 100,000 people following you on fucking Twitter, you could get 100,000 people following you on here. And you make all right money. You don't get anything out of fucking Twitter. Unless you're a right-wing fucking gobshite who writes horrific things and gets lots of engagement by writing horrific things. But, this ability to undress children, to abuse children, to humiliate and degrade women and children. Like before this happened, Grok was like nowhere to be seen in the AI race. No one was really using it. It was just a funny thing to use now and again to ask a question to if you wanted the answer to be that Elon Musk is the biggest fucking cunt in the world. But after the scandal, now everyone knows about this particular AI platform and what it does and what it can do and what it can't do. Politicians, journalists, parents, regulators, And the controversy, no publicity is bad publicity, it seems. Even child abuse. What is this world in which we're living? And you create a robot that pumps out child abuse images And that's how you make money. That's how you get to the top of the App Store charts. And then at one point last week, he said, we're going to make it so you have to subscribe. So you have to pay. You have to pay for your Twitter subscription of $7, $8 a month or whatever it is in order to generate these images. The amount of media coverage, the amount of social engagement, people talking about, people like me doing these shows saying, oh my God, this is disgusting. What am I supposed to do? Not mention it? They know that we have to because we have to raise awareness that this is happening to get it to stop. But in order to do that, in order to get it to stop, we have to give it the publicity that they fucking crave. They win either way. It's like Alien versus Predator. Whoever wins, we fucking lose. We lose. People. Real people. Not disgusting billionaire, nepo baby, fuckwit, fucking pedo, gobshite, abusive cunts like fucking Elon Musk. Sorry for all the swears this morning. I don't think this episode is going to get monetized anyway, but the sexual abuse content of this website, and that's all it is at the end of the day, it's a fucking website, was not a side effect. It was a mechanism that was used knowingly to thrust Grok into the limelight. And children, the perfect shock asset. Nothing spreads faster than a scandal involving minors. Nothing triggers politicians faster than child safety. Nothing forces Apple and Google to respond faster than a CSAM risk. By allowing this to happen, XAI guaranteed maximum attention at minimal marketing cost. The fucking bastards. The fucking bastards. And then Musk comes out with this free speech lie, framed it all as a free speech issue. Oh. But the moment the regulators threatened his distribution channels, the tools were instantly restricted. Those guardrails were put instantly back on. It was the moment that the App Store, the Apple and Google's stores both said, we're not going to allow this to be downloaded off our platform anymore. It was never about principles. It was always about being able to sell a product using child abuse as the catalyst, sell a product at minimum cost to market and get millions of people, millions of horrible, disgusting, grotesque people. And if you know anyone who has downloaded Grok on their phone in the last 2 weeks, get the fuck away from them. Seriously. And if you've got kids, get your kids away from them. I would advise taking any pictures of your children down or your grandchildren down off the internet. Because if there is someone out there, and you might not know, who has an unhealthy interest in your child, and they can get those pictures, you can imagine what they've possibly already done with them. It was always about money. It was always about raising more money for the richest man in the world. Through child abuse. Is this the real life? What the fuck is going on? Who's calling this out? Who's pointing this out? Fucking no one. Because all these rich motherfucking nepo baby, privately educated motherfuckers, God, they stick to each other like fucking glue, don't they? X has become a hosting platform for the largest scale sexual exploitation material platform in the world, in history, in fucking history. And Musk gambled the entire platform to get Grok into the charts. He could have blocked this from day one. They chose not to. The abuse drove downloads, the downloads drove headlines, and the headlines drove Grok to number one. And this was a marketing ploy using real women and real children and the abuse, the violent abuse of these real people as bait. Welcome to the world in 2026. Fucking furious. Chris, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. Musk needs to be prosecuted for allowing CSAM material to be generated and distributed on his platform. We have existing laws, so use them, Starmer. Yeah. Prosecuted. Thrown in fucking jail. Throw his worthless hide in jail for the rest of his miserable fucking days. None of this fines. Oh, we're going to give him a fine. There's going to be a fine. Oh, bring out the fine. Elon Musk is never going to pay a fucking fine, okay? You fine Twitter, right? You're not fining Elon Musk. You fine Facebook. You're not fining fucking Zuckerberg. They don't give a fuck. They will put it through the courts. You fine them. Oh, we're going to fine you $500 million. Oh, shit, $500 million. Oh, no. Better not lose 1% of our revenue for the fucking year. Okay, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to fight you in court. Fight you. Until we get a judge who's a cunt, right? Who's probably went to school with them. And they're going to get it down to about, 47 million. Yeah, just get it right down to what it is. And then it'll be paid for, not by Musk, not by Zuckerberg, not Twitter or Facebook or anything. No, it's paid for by an insurance company. They pay into an insurance company. They didn't lose any profit. They didn't lose any money at all. Don't give them fines. Do not give them. They're fucking useless. Throw them in jail. If it was you or I doing this and we weren't rich, they would throw us in fucking jail. But we live in a two-tier system. Don't we, Mr. Farage? Mr. Farage, oh, two-tier. It's all two-tier. Yes, it is. It's us, normal people. And then there's the wealthy. The mega wealthy. The gobshites like Trump and Musk and Farage and Boris fucking Johnson, who can get away with murder. And this just proves get away with child abuse. Get away with child abuse. Child abuse is fine, apparently. So grim. So very, very, very grim. I'll get into the chat now. Swears justified, Graham, says L. Thank you, L. I think they are. Californian give suing Elon for Grok AI. Yeah, apparently. Well, I don't want them to sue. It makes no difference. They drag it through the courts for years. The Cambridge Analytica thing happened in 2016. It was blown up about a year later by Kawal Kadwala and others that they interfered in our referendum. This is a foreign company. Facebook, right, an American company interfering in our referendum about the EU, right, the fraud-referendum, and they went for the courts. And it was only finished last year, and they got fined about £2.50, and it basically was paid for by the insurance company. Oh, thank you so much. I just give me the coffee. Thank you. Oh, that's cheered me up. What else have we got? Stop them being allowed to operate. Fines are only punitive to those who can't afford to pay them. Yes. Fines are regressive. Absolutely the most regressive form of punishment. Because if you have a third-hand fucking, Nissan Micra and you park it in the wrong place and you get fined £50, that might be your wages for the day. Your entire wages for the day. But if you've got some souped-up fucking Lamborghini fucking green roller skate and you put that on the pavement and you get a fine on that, £50 to you is like 5p. For what you earn a day. It's nothing. Oh, I've got a 5p fine. Oh, well. That's going to stop me doing it in the future. But yeah, how is a fine made relevant to a demi-trillionaire? Anything is going to be pocket change. Exactly. Put him in jail. He needs to be arrested and put in jail. When he goes to one of these countries, all these countries need to say, if Elon Musk sets foot on our soil, we are going to arrest the motherfucker. He's not a politician. He is not protected by diplomatic immunity. He is just a squishy little twatty little fuckbag who came from South Africa during apartheid. His daddy owned an emerald mine in apartheid. I think it was in Zimbabwe, the actual mine that he owned. Do you think any white people worked in the mine? Do you think he paid the black people that he had working down his mine? Do you think he paid them the right amount of money that they should have got for the job that they were doing? Do you think they had proper health and safety down? Do you think? Yeah. The guy who, Elon Musk's dad, famously married Elon Musk's sister. Married his own stepdaughter. What the fuck? And then this is why, that they make this whole thing about cancel culture. Everyone's being cancelled. It's because they want to get away with shit like this. All the people who whine endlessly about being fucking cancelled. It's not because they are actually being cancelled. They're not. It's because they want to get away with abusing children. They want to get away with murder. It's like, remember when Winona Ryder got done for robbing stuff from a fucking shop, and she turned up in court wearing the clothes, like, Ralph Lauren or whatever it was, expensive clothes, the same brand that she'd been accused of stealing, as if to say, like, I didn't have to do this. I was just doing it for the kicks. There's a million. And at the time, she had substance abuse issues. She had alcohol issues. She had mental health issues. And I get all that. Right? But it does seem a bit like, okay, here's a rich person doing something objectively horrible, right? Shoplifting. I mean, that's one end of the spectrum compared with what Musk has done. And then getting off on the fact that they get away with it because they're bored. They're just bored. They're like, okay, let's create chaos. I like chaos. And that's what Elon Musk has done here. For money. For money. So that people download his fucking AI app. Do not go anywhere near Grok. Don't get it to fucking generate stuff for you. You're feeding the monster. You're basically giving up your tithes to a paedophile. Like, why would you do that? Why would you give 1/10 of your fucking crop to a known paedophile who doesn't fucking live here, wouldn't piss on you if you're on fire, doesn't know you exist? Why would you do that? Especially when there's other platforms that you can use that, arguably are a little less evil, because this is beyond. This is absolutely beyond. And this is in the defense of any, AI thing in general. I think the bubble's going to burst, and when it does, hopefully it takes down Elon Musk, it takes down Trump, it takes them all fucking down, Have I got some good news for you? Would you like a bit of good news? So NVIDIA are doing the chips exclusively for Tesla. For Tesla, decided they're going to do chips for all electric cars if they want them, including cars made in China. So when people say, oh, Tesla's not a car company, it's a technology company, you're like, really? Is it? Really? Because it doesn't have an edge. It doesn't have an edge on anybody else. Can't even get the self-driving cars going. There's regulations, and quite rightly, if this is the shit you want to do. If I had more love for the dog shit I trod in last week than I could ever have for the likes of Farage, yes. Farage saying we can't block this as a free speech just made me realise I was wrong. I actually could hate him more, says Robot. Yeah. Now, we need to use this. Good morning, Cat Hand, says Martin. We need to use this, right? We need to weaponize this against refuck, because every one of those refuck fuckers was going, oh, no, it's an issue of free speech. Child abuse. If someone comes knocking on your door promoting refuck, say, why are you promoting child abuse? Why is child abuse okay with you? In the country that you run, you wouldn't, because what he was saying is, if he was in charge of the country, if heaven forfend, Farage was in charge of this country, they wouldn't have done anything about this. They would have looked at those images of children that, digitally created in their underwear with cigarette burns and stab wounds in their body, right? And gone, yeah, that's a free speech issue. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. This is the same bunch of fucking gobshites who can't help themselves but go on about how they need to protect women and girls all the time. That was the reason why they sent people out to go and burn down hotels with asylum seekers in, with women and children in, because they needed to protect women and children. It's funny how they want to protect women and children until, it doesn't, the business case doesn't really stand up. Fucking grim. NVIDIA are a pretty scummy company with regards to how they treat their consumer customers, unfortunately. Yes, I know. I looked at Tesla and wasn't impressed at all. Overpriced Emperor's clothing. Yeah. Well, this is it. The other car manufacturers have not got a market cap anywhere near what Tesla is. It's like Ford, Chrysler, GM, and then it's like Tesla's like off the fucking charts. And like, they're not selling more cars than anyone else. Do you know what I mean? Like the actual money they make, the turnover, the profit each year is nowhere near what their worth is on the stock market. It's just people playing on the stock market. And it's why, when We hear the stock market going on a fucking roller coaster, and the stock market's down, stock market's up. The stock market is just a gambling den. It's just a gambling den for posh gamblers. That's all it is. It's just bear baiting, it's dog fighting, it's hair coursing. That's what they are. They're just gambling with other people's money, with your money, right? So these rich cunts gambling with someone else's money. So who cares? It's not them, right? And it doesn't really make much difference to what's happening in the government. Sorry, it doesn't respond really to what's going on in the world. What it responds to is where these gobshites who run the markets think they're going to make the next buck. That's all they care about. It's like what stocks are going to go up. I'm going to bet on this one to go up, and then if you think it's going to go down, you do a short on it. You get a hedge fund involved, and you fuck that company over, and you then profit the difference, right? Okay, so we got that sorted. You don't look at them, right? You don't look at the bond markets. It wasn't the stock markets that brought down Liz Truss. It was the bond markets, because they're investors. They're not gamblers, they're investors. And at the moment, the bond market in America is fucked. Yeah, he can be there saying, oh, the stock market's the highest it's ever been. But at the same time, the bond market in America is fucked, because no one wants to lend money to the American government under Trump, especially with him going after the fucking head of the Fed, going after Jerome Powell. No one in the right, man. If they do decide to give money, it's a short-term bond. So instead of being like a 30-year loan, it's more like a 2-year loan or even a 1-year loan, which always comes with a much higher percentage, and the government's got to pay that back. They've got to pay the percentage for the year, and then at the end of the year, they've got to refund the money. I'm surprised all this horrific shit hasn't caused Blue Sky to have a resurgence. Yeah, all these companies moving away from consumer market will fall when the AI bubble bursts. We've talked about the AI bubble a bit, Diz, and I don't think it's going to burst. I think it's going to deflate. And the reason why I don't think it's going to burst is because if you look at the nearest analog to this, which is the dot-com bubble of 2000, right? There was all these companies, right, that have been set up with these venture funds, millions, billions poured into them, but they didn't have anything. They barely had a website. Whereas these companies that are investing heavily in AI at the moment and getting investors to prop up the share price, they do have something. I mean, it's not as much as their share cap would suggest, but it's not nothing. They have something of substance, whether that's Nvidia making chips, whether that's different platforms with the social media, whether that is Tesla with the cars. There is something there, whether it's digital or physical. There is actually an infrastructure that they've built this thing upon. So instead of the markets crashing entirely for these big companies like Google and Facebook, Meta, I don't know. I could be wrong on this, but what I think is more likely to happen is you'll see that the market cap is like here, and then very quickly it will start going down and down and down and down and down, and then it will stop at a certain point, maybe at a sensible valuation of the company rather than the insane valuations that we have at the moment. But what that's going to do is it won't be as much of a devastation for those particular companies, I don't think. But for the wider economy, for smaller companies, smaller businesses, things that don't have so much to rely on, if their share price value just descends, just starts going down and down and down, there's nothing they can do to stop it. A lot of them are going to go bump. A lot of smaller companies going bump is going to have a major knock-on effect on our economies, especially in the US, but over here as well. And it could lead to a recession, even a depression as a result. But what I mean by this is that it might not be an overnight thing where suddenly, people are making loads and loads of money on the stock market, and then the next day everyone's jumping out of windows like in 1929. I don't think it'll go down like that, but I could be wrong. Look at the 2008 credit crunch, which arguably has similarities to that. So I think it's going to be somewhere in between the dot-com bubble bursting and the sort of 2008 crash, which saw the government having to step in to prop up private companies that are fucked up. I mean, they're happy to privatize the profits, aren't they? But then the losses get nationalized every fucking time. And you can see it's about to happen. Azena, well done. You've joined the channel. Yay! That's exciting. Welcome, Azena. That is really cool. And Cathal OG has gifted. Oh, that's so kind of you. Thank you, Cathal OG for this. Cathal has bought a gift membership for someone random, and the someone random is David Lewis. David Lewis now has a gift membership. So welcome. You are awesome. And we've also got Viper Scott in there, who's been a member, Alistair, for 15 months. Wow, that went very quick. Keep up the good work. Oh, fantastic. So brilliant. Thank you so much to everyone for just, being fucking awesome. All of you. Thank you. You are the best. Okay, should we head over to the papers now? Should we talk about the papers and what's going on in the fucking papers? Need to calm down. I'm a bit vexed this morning. I can't believe this whole thing was set up just to sell fucking AI fucking products. Imagine if like a makeup company did this. This weaponized child abuse to sell fucking perfume or lipstick or something. I mean, could you imagine? I mean, I could say, imagine a political party use this. Imagine this political party use child abuse in order to swell their numbers, swell their ranks. You could make an argument that that's exactly what Refuck have done, using child abuse images to get people to join their cause. Yeah. Anyway, just to chill us all out, here's the Mirror. World on the brink! From the Arctic Circle to the Persian Gulf, the world stands on the edge of a devastating descent into conflict. I think that's kind of gilding the lily somewhat. There's a woman here. She hasn't been shot in the head. Don't worry. That's makeup. A woman with mock gunshot wound at a Rome rally in support of Iranian protesters. A human rights group said the regime had killed more than 2,400 demonstrators, which is horrific. Apparently, Trump has said the killing has stopped and Iran has avoided the wrath of the US, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. And the Fan Rao police chief won't quit. Now, originally, I thought this is bollocks because Tel Aviv Maccabi had been banned from a match in. Their fans had been banned from a match in Israel. And I was like, well, what is this even a fucking why are they doing an investigation into this? It seems really fucking weird. It seemed like if you want to keep public order, it seemed like a good way of keeping public order for this particular match, right? His team was coming over from Israel at a time of very heightened tensions between communities. They were going to play a game in Birmingham, which has a large Muslim community, and keeping the peace is the police's job, right? So up to a point, I was like, yeah, okay, well, I understand why he did it, and probably handled it badly, but whatever, who cares? It's only a fucking football match. However, it turns out that they used AI to analyze whether they should allow people to come here, these fans to come here, and it invented a match that didn't actually happen, and like a football match that didn't happen against either Tottenham or someone, and said, oh yeah, they caused trouble at this match, and it was AI hallucinating. And then when asked about using AI, the constabulary said they don't use AI, and now it's turned out that they do, so they were lying. So I don't know. I can't see how he can really hang on, but it's not up to the Home Secretary to get rid of him. It's the local crime commissioner who gets to decide that. Before we go on, we got Viper Scott dropping £2 into the Super Chat Fund. Thank you very much. For Diz, the star mod, for the confetti. Hurrah. And Martin Harrow, thank you very much for the £2. Keeping Diz, the spanner master, happy. Woohoo! And breaking news, World Cup thrown into chaos as Trump blocks fans of 15 nations from entering the US. Well, there is I was going to get into this. In fact, I was thinking of doing this as the main story today. So Trump has blocked visa applications for 75 countries around the world So a lot of African countries, a lot of Asian countries, Russia's on the list. Some South American countries like Brazil is on the list. You can no longer get a visa, but it's a work visa. So make this clear that it's not a visitor. It's not a visitation visa. It's not a visa for coming to America. But yeah, we'll have to see how this plays out, because we know it's going to be very, very difficult for fans from, say, Haiti to go to America to watch their team play, the national team play. I hope that the World Cup is an absolute fucking disaster. I hope that the stadiums are fucking empty. I hope that America and FIFA lose fucking billions of dollars on this venture. I'm sorry, but I don't think they will. I can't see it. If they can fill up stadiums in Russia notorious for throwing people in gulags, for throwing people who disagree with the system, who don't like Putin, who look at him funny out of a fucking window of a plane that's exploding at fucking 40,000 feet in the sky. Yeah, okay. People went there. They sold out the stadiums in 2018, right? 2022, Qatar, middle of fucking buttfuck nowhere. No one knows where it is. People still managed to go there, and they filled the stadiums that they built using slaves. 6,000 people died. 6,000 slaves died building those stadiums. These stadiums not only were built by slaves, but it was incredibly hot. Even though they played it in winter, it was still 40 degrees every fucking day. They had to have air-conditioned stadiums, which cost an absolute fucking fortune and cost the planet a fortune. But, these oil people are trying to burn oil as quickly as possible, because then it will melt the ice caps. And the faster they melt the ice caps, the faster that they can make more money by drilling in the around the North Pole, drilling around in the Antarctic. Result, as far as they're concerned. So yeah, also we'll have to build more things, and the more stuff we build, the more fuel we use. So it's quids in. That's why the oil companies want us to burn as much stuff as possible. That's why they pay for politicians like Trump to become leaders of countries, so they can say, oh, it's all a hoax, and we've got to burn everything. We've got to burn all this. We've got to take all this sludge out the ground. We've got to fucking burn it as quickly as possible, because it makes sense for their business model, their evil business model, their clearly evil business model. Like it's almost like a Bond villain style fucking thing. Let's make the world end quicker for money. Why are you doing that? For money. Why are you making people die? For money. Why are you making refugees a thing? For money. Why are you destroying people's homes? For money. Yeah, fucking disgrace. But yeah, if they could fill the stadiums in 2018, 2022, I don't think they're going to have any problems filling the stadiums for the World Cup. I'm sorry. There's a lot of dickheads out there. What can I say? Viper Scott has bought 5 gift memberships. Oh, thank you, Alistair. You are the best. Who have we got? We got the Cheese Factor, who has received a gift membership. We've got Andrew Davis. We've got Doc Davis, Veg Pie again. We've got Bowlskov. Thank you so much, and welcome, new members to the channel. Welcome. I'm sure you've been here before. Some of you. And now you get access to the Discord server to keep the conversation going. But again, keep it cordial. Paul Ewan, thank you very much for the £2 super chat. Wasn't going anyway, boycott. Yeah, I'm not even watching it on fucking TV. I didn't watch Qatar. I didn't watch Russia. Pardon me. And that went down the wrong hole. As the actress said to the bishop. Yeah, but £3,000 a ticket. Who is buying them? Daylight. There's millions of people who are dead fucking rich, and they'll come. They'll come to watch. Yes, I posted a link on Discord about Sasha Riley. Don't know what to believe, but frankly, only something as horrific might be the only reason the PDF files are not being released. SG, those files. And her statements are really fucking grim. And for anyone who hasn't seen them, trigger warning, they're fucking grim. Like, as grim as it could be. But I don't think that it'll take Trump down. Even if it was proved to be true, I don't think it will take him down. You got to understand, last week, a mother of 3, a white, middle-aged mother of 3, sitting in a car, was shot dead by one of Trump's goons, by one of Trump's paid law enforcement, Gestapo fucking goons. And not only did Trump not suffer in the polls at all by this happening, also, the guy who did it was given granted immunity from prosecution. The feds took the body of Renee Good out of her car, which you're not supposed to do. You're supposed to leave it there for the police to come and investigate the crime. And when there's been a murder, the person is dead. You're not going to bring them back to life in a hospital. They picked up her body, and not even on a stretcher. They just grabbed hold of it, and they carried it away, almost instantaneous, in contravention of any fucking law at a state level. But the Trump goons, they can do what they like. So I'm not going to America. Won't watch it on TV either, says Paul Ewan. Chris, is this basically executive power? Yeah. FIFA don't lose money because of all the sports betting sponsorships. That's another thing. They don't have to fill the stadiums. That's not where they make all the money. You're right. Sports betting sponsorships. That's where they make all the fucking money. They're having an extra 2 ad breaks during the matches, because an ad break every 45 minutes wasn't good for making loads of money. So at 22 minutes and 67 minutes of each match that's going to be played in the World Cup, and there's going to be over 100 games played, both teams are going to have to stop. The ref's going to blow a whistle, and everyone's going to stop for a hydration break for exactly 3 minutes while they run adverts around the world. Don't forget, it's going to be covered by broadcasters all over the world who are going to pay FIFA a fuckload of money to show this stuff, and then advertisers are going to pay a fuckload of money to advertise on it. SG, thank you for the £5 super chat. Agree, Graham. Only the Grim Reaper can take him down. Yeah. And also we should basically talk about Greenland, which is going to come up in the moment in one of the papers, I'm sure. So we'll get into it in that. But yeah. Shameless, a scathing report condemns West Midland Police lies over its decision to ban Israeli football fans. The Home Secretary declares she's lost confidence in Under Fire Chief Constable Craig Guilford, but astonishingly, he refuses to quit, and the local Labour Crime Commissioner refused to sack him. So that's not a good look for Labour, considering that it does look like he fucking lied. Anyway, woman in a bikini. Also, there's a picture of a royal, because you can't forget what they look like. This one's not even a royal anymore. He's a prince formerly known as Edward or something. Andrew. He's got Sky TV, so that's front page news. So there's a traitor spoiler here. Sorry if anyone watching the traitors, maybe turn it off for a moment. Former PC shot during a robbery calls on officials to recognise wounded emergency staff. Let's honour nations injured and their 9 heroes. So this is a crusade by the Daily Express. Obviously, there's nothing going on in the world that they need to bring attention to right now. And then in the eye, they've got anatomy of another U-turn. Starmer ignored his own advice from his own team on digital ID cards. We've also got UK military prepares for American strike on Iran. Britain withdraws military personnel from Qatar base ahead of potential Trump strikes on Tehran. Amid growing belief that action is imminent. That's really grim. And then we've got 4 million denied right to vote. Prime Minister running scared of public with 27 councils poised to cancel elections. They're not cancelling them. They're postponing them. They are postponing them. Okay? Because this is to do with the boundaries being redrawn and all that kind of shit, isn't it? So yeah, they're postponing them. They will have them. But it's up to the councils whether they apply to not have elections in May. But you can sell it that way if you want. And then we've got Britain's worst hit landlords, and then we've got Corbynista police boss refuses to sack Maccabee officer. So now the police boss in Birmingham is being shut. So he's a Corbynite, Break open the emergency fucking Corbyn. China's Super 8 embassy faces court challenge. Sting owes his police bandmates 500,000, which is fuck all for him, I guess. He's a multimillionaire. Britain shuts base in Iran over strike fears. New wind farms will add 1.8 billion to bills. No, they won't. Is this from... Let's have a look. Hundreds of new wind turbines are to be built around Britain's coastline after Ed Miliband yesterday awarded subsidies of up to 1.8 billion to green energy developers. The Energy Secretary has approved plans, blah, 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 blah. Who's saying that it's going to cost this? Why is it going to cost this? Why is it going to cost anything? Like, they're going to make power. They're going to make power for 20, 30 years. Every fucking minute of every fucking day, they're going to make power. Unless we have a day where, a halcyon day where the winds are calm all around the UK. But But that's okay, because we can just put the power in the batteries of the cars, because we've all got electric cars. We've got 30 million electric cars around the country by 2030. That's not going to happen, but and we've got a new grid that we can distribute the power around more efficiently. So even if there is no sun and no wind, we can still have the power. I have the power. Just noticed Mock the Week is coming back on TLC, whatever that is, cable presumably. That's cool. Tender loving care. Sheffield says, hi all, seen a few YouTube shorts from America on Now Then Impact channel. Read veterans angry about what Trump and ICE are up to. Testimony from a Hispanic vet who was dragged out of his home, broke my heart. Oh, I'm sorry, Steve. That's really, I mean, some of the videos I've seen, people being dragged out of cars. It's just pure. It's if we had high definition color footage of the Nazis going door to door and rounding up Jewish people and dragging them out of their houses and out of their vehicles, and it would look a bit like that. So we're going to go to the Guardian now, and we need to address the Greenland in the room. So there's a meeting yesterday between US officials and officials from Denmark, the Danish foreign minister, and Trump's still intent on conquering Greenland, say Danes after talks. It was absolutely not necessary for United States to seize Greenland, a largely self-governing part of the Danish kingdom. We didn't manage to change the American position. It's clear the president has his wish of conquering Greenland, and we made some very, very, very clear that is not in the interests of the kingdom. I mean, just what a twat. What an absolute twat doing this. And there's these mealy-mouthed motherfuckers like Farage and stuff are going, oh, well, if he wants Greenland, we should give it to him. We should give the monster all he wants to eat. We should just hand up, our firstborn to be devoured by this monster. And people vote for fucking Farage. Some fuckers got a Trump flag here in Durham in Langley fucking Park. In the US, you can legally buy flamethrowers. I'd love to get obviously you can't in this country, but wouldn't it be great, flamethrower coming around to getting down all these flags instead of putting yourself in danger, climbing up a lamppost to get rid of all these fucking flags, flamethrower them, take them out. Unfortunately, very, very, very illegal in this country. Not in America, where they're sold as water pistols, pretty much. Water pistols that spit fire. Cool. Chris, the issue for Starmer is the cost to the people here, though. He's really walking a tightrope, says Lost Missionary. Yes, he is. We've talked about that. US and UK have evacuate staff in Qatar amid Iran fears. So we've talked about that as well. We've got the Financial Times next coming up. Reeves's signal on extending pubs U-turn cheers hotels, broader rates relief for hospitality. Latest big policy reversed by Labour. Rachel Reeves has opened the door to expanding her business rates U-turn beyond pubs and other hospitality business to other hospitality businesses in the latest big policy reversed by the Labour government. There's going to be a snap election in Japan. This is the first Japanese Sine Takashi is the current prime minister of Japan, first female prime minister, but she's very, very much in the mould of Maggie Thatcher. So, Khan warns London will bear brunt of AI jobs cull. Mayor Sadiq Khan to warn that AI risks destroying huge numbers of jobs in the capital and ushering in an era of mass unemployment unless ministers act. I don't really see that as the case, but we'll see. US evacuates military base in Qatar. I've read that one. And then we've got these little stories here. So we go through the little stories. BP to wipe 4.5 billion to 5.5 billion. Sorry, 4 billion to 5 billion off the value of green businesses. The FTSE 100 energy major has acknowledged for the first time that its struggling green energy businesses are worth far less than previously thought. Motherfuckers. UK borrowing costs fall. 10-year gilt yields have fallen 0.5 percentage points to 4.35%. They're the lowest in more than a year. Coca-Cola halts Costa sale. The soft drinks company has ditched plans to sell Costa coffee after bids from private equity suitors fell through. AI tests McKinsey results. PIMCO mistrusts US assets. EU single market stutters. Timoshenko graft probe. Former Prime Minister Julia, for God's sake, Timoshenko has been accused of heading a vote buying scheme in parliament by anti-corruption authorities in Ukraine. So that's Ukraine. I mean, the Ukraine has had to deal with a lot of this. They've had to clamp down on corruption in their own country to show themselves as being not Russia, not like Russia, which is incredibly corrupt. But it is frustrating that we've, got a country that's got to be sort of purer than pure. Sorry that I keep getting an error message there. China trade surplus rises. Beijing has blamed the US for growing trade imbalances. China blaming the US for something, the US blaming China for something. That never happens. There's a daft story on the front of the Metro newspaper, which is about first hotel on the moon by 2032. One small step to reception. A space entrepreneur backed by Elon Musk has unveiled plans for the first hotel on the moon. I'm going to say this very clearly for the investors at the back. That ain't going to happen. That ain't going to happen. That is 100% something that will not happen. That will not happen. That absolutely will not happen. In order to build something on the moon, you need to get a lot of heavy equipment to the moon. You need to get a lot of heavy materials to the moon. Getting that shit off the planet of the Earth and allowing it to escape the force of gravity that we have on the surface of this planet is going to be impossible. It is a physical impossibility. It is not going to happen. What the fuck? Why is that the front cover of a newspaper in this country at a time when Grok is putting out images of child abuse, when America is threatening to invade Greenland, a part of a NATO country, when the tensions are building up in the Middle East, and it looks like there's going to be a strike on Iran, and it goes, oh, we're gonna give some free publicity to this bullshit idea that in 6 years there's going to be a fucking space hotel on the fucking moon. Fuck off. I hate that kind of shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, why are you just lying to people? Why? And no one's ever taken to task on this. No one ever points out that Elon Musk said that he'll have humans on the moon. On Mars. Not even on the fucking moon. On Mars by 2025. This is like when you watch Escape from New York, which is set in the future, and then you realise the actual movie is set in 1997. I won't stay in a hotel on the moon. Place will have no atmosphere. Sorry, I'll get my coat. It's not a place to raise the kids. One of the short vids was a veteran in Minnesota so angry, quite rightly, at ICE agent Trump, but turned around to apologise to the people behind him because he swore. It was sad to see him so angry. Yeah. Well, Trump the other day, he swore at a voter in a car factory or something he was in, and he gave him the middle finger. Could you imagine if Obama did that? Could you imagine if the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom was caught on a hot mic calling a woman who was a bigot a bigot? And yet Trump is allowed to get away with murder because the standards on the left are unattainable and the standards on the right are fictional. They've got no standards. There is no low to which these people will not crawl on their belly through broken glass if told to by these gobshites that they adore, absolutely adore. And I keep saying to people, go like, I think a lot of people, and I'm not having a go here, it's just like natural because we want to think the best of people, but we think that people think logically and rationally. And it drives this idea that everyone should have to vote, for instance. Oh, look, only a third of people voted this way, a third of people voted that way, a third of people didn't vote. Oh, if only they had voted, then I would have got the result that I wanted. And there's a country where voting is compulsory. It's called Australia. And the right wing get in all the fucking time. Because just because you make everyone vote doesn't mean they're going to make an informed decision. Doesn't mean they're going to think logically or think like you do. And this is what we see all the time in America. People will see what Trump's like and they'll abandon him. So people will see what Elon Musk is like and they'll leave Twitter. People will see what Elon Musk is like and they will sell their Tesla. Yeah, some will. Most won't. The vast majority won't. They don't care. They don't fucking care. George only, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. Farage calls the EU a dictatorship, but Trump turning the US into a fascist dictatorship is fine with him. What's worse, Farage or his supporters? Farage. You see, the thing is, right, the supporters have always got to be there, but they're quite disparate. The only thing that gels them together is Nigel Farage. No Nigel Farage, no... Look at UKIP, right? UKIP's basically dead. It's not really... It's a zombie party. No Nigel Farage, no refuck. Simple as that. We've seen it play out before with UKIP. He is the only thing holding that assembly of like 5 groups of very, very different people together through sheer force of personality, in the same way that Trump keeps all of these disparate groups together in the Republican Party, which is terrible because Trump and Farage are still alive. But when they're not, their movements are going to collapse like a fucking, a wet cake. Yeah, Graham, I saw the clip of Trump at the Ford factory. Brilliant. The man apparently had GoFundMe set up for him. He told people to eventually to donate to charity. What a great bloke. Yeah, Sheffield Steve. And also, did you know that Renee Good's family, they started up a GoFundMe. And once they got enough money for her she's got a 6-year-old kid. She's got a 6-year-old kid who lost his father a couple of years ago. So now that child has been orphaned by ICE, orphaned by a guy who's going to completely get away with it, who murdered Renee in broad daylight. Murdered that kid's mother. They set up a GoFundMe, and once they got to their target, they gave the rest to charity. Because that's all they need. Compare that with Erica Kirk. Charlie Kirk's widow with the fireworks. And the dancing. Yeah, my husband's dead. I've made loads of money. Look how much money I've made. I made millions out of the fact my husband's dead. Yay. I mean, I was quite excited that he's not with us anymore, but I didn't set off fireworks. And breaking news, astronauts return to Earth after first medical evacuation from the space station. It's amazing that is the first one, isn't it? Isn't it amazing that is the first time all the time that we've had space stations up in the sky? We had Skylab, didn't we? And then there was the Mir space station, something like that. Then we had the International Space Station, and these astronauts up in space for long periods of time. This is the first time we've had to have a medical evacuation. I think they know what they're doing. Of course, Tommy Cooper had the most fearsome battle cry. Entire armies would lay down their weapons upon hearing it. We surrender. Well, Dark River, what did they do with the Russians? I think if you said we surrender to the Russians, they'll just fucking kill you anyway. So, yeah. I did the same when Emma passed. I had to go fund me so I could attend the funeral and donated the rest to charity, going politics. Good. I mean, I'm sorry that happened to you, Yuri. But like... I mean, that's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do. It's not the right-wing thing to do. UKIP subscription went down the toilet when Frogage banned Tommy 10 passports. Moondust is a nightmare, apparently. It sticks to everything and gets into every crack. Damages all the equipment. Yeah, it's really, really fine dust. It's fine, gritty dust. There was a GTA 5 map that mocked the murder by recreating it. Rockstar added the name Charlie Kirk, added the profanity filter, but the level is still up. Chat, please accept my apologies. The Ford employee has only been suspended, not fired. Stupid news channel. Well, I'm glad that he wasn't fucking fired. But yeah, Trump deserved to be told that he's a fucking dickhead. Freckle Puny, I remember when it became big news when George W. Bush called a reporter an asshole. Can we go back to those days, please? No, you can't. Because it's one rule for me, one rule for everybody else. It's like people who get offended by swearing until it's someone that they like who swears, and then they let them off. It's like someone who's offended by murder until it's someone who they like who's the murderer, And then they're like, oh, well, they seem like a nice person. They talk to their plants. Why don't murderer talk to their plants, What's that? She got vice president eye makeup on too. Yeah. Only suspended. Ford is unionized and union has supported him. Tommy Ten Names has been complaining about gay adverts, his own targeted gay adverts. Yeah. There was an advert and it was for like a gay night and it said no age limit. Yeah. It meant like no. It meant that you could be like 75, you could be 85, you couldn't be 95 years old, you could be 105 years old and still go to it. It didn't mean that children were allowed in. It was a bar, like you don't allow children into a bar, so it was the limit. It was a top limit, not a bomb. And he's put this up and gone, oh look, gay people having sex with children. He like, your supporters all fucking download Grok. All these people who put up fucking flags on the lampposts, all the painting the fucking the roundabouts. They all fucking downloaded Grok this week. All of them. Swearing is part of everyday language. You're fucking right it is. Martin. Hey, Chibs hires. He really is a prick, innit? Yes. I hope you're not talking about me. Tommy loves the D. He does. He went to school and got the big D. And too fucking right. Refuck is the cargo cult of Farage. Yeah. And MAGA is the cargo cult of Trump. Once Trump is no longer with us, MAGA is going to collapse. I guarantee it. I will stake my hat on it. It might stumble on for a little while because obviously American stupid system is that when the person that people voted for dies, someone else automatically takes their place instead of having another election. Could you imagine in this country if we had a system where an MP died and instead of having a fucking by-election, which is the democratic thing to do, just some mate of the now deceased member of parliament gets to take the position until the end of the parliamentary term? Could be 5 years. How is that fair? How is that right? No one's voted for that person. That's why they put the other person's name on the ticket, but no one's voting for them. No one's voting for them. It's fine as long as it's not intended to cause offence, says Martin. I have a message from the LGBTQ plus community for Tiny Tom. Where did that go? I've lost it. Did it get deleted? Sorry, I can't find it now. Yes, I found it. Sorry, Chris. I had a meeting and we all agreed if you were the last male on this planet, we still wouldn't touch you. Yeah. He's such a little gobshite. Gallifreyan then. I wanted Starburst, but they didn't have any. The candle was just remembering I'd run out. Oh no! You mean opal fruits? Paul Hopkins laying into Farage about Sahara rats in a sack. Yeah. Sahari, you mean? Sahari? You mean the guy who's just joined the former Tory minister, the former Tory chancellor for 2 months, who's just joined the refuck fuckers? Because the Tories wouldn't give him a gong. The Tories wouldn't give me a gong, so I'm going to join the other team. I'm going to join the other team and then I'll show you. A man who is a refugee from Iraq, joining Refuck, the party whose its raison d'etre is to deport people like him. But it's all right because he's dead fucking rich because his dad was part of the old Iraqi government before Saddam Hussein came along. So he's got fags of money. Went to a very posh private school, of course. But yeah, still refugee. Fucking G. I'm having a look at the chat. I think we've got suspended. It's been reported. He's been sacked. He's been suspended. And yeah, there's a few older messages. Space Hotel. How much of this investment will become a mansion in Mayfair, a Malibu beachfront property, and a super yacht? Says Recopuni a bit earlier on. Just a fucking scam. Just a fucking scam to get dickheads excited. Like, we're going to build a hotel. I'm like, no, you're fucking not. Yeah, absolutely not. There's no physical way you can do that. In the same way there was no physical way of faking the moon landings. You could not physically cheat that. We didn't have the technology at the time to cheat it on film. We just could not have done that. But yeah. Don't worry, my friends. Our old McDonald's will take care of criminal J. Trump. A daily diet of Big Mac, filet-o-fish, double cheeseburger, large fries, and a large Coke will take its toll. That's the hope, Freckle Puny. That's the hope. But, I mean, I don't want to be a fucking Debbie Downer about this, but Mugabe lived till he was like 93 years old or something mad. So he might have another fucking 10 years of this gobshite. Zahari, who set his lawyers illegally on the wonderful Dan Needle for telling the truth about the Chancellor's tax evasion. Yep, £5 million of tax evasion. What a gobshite. Opal fruits made to make your mouth water. Indeed, they were. I love opal fruits. Pastels are good. Yeah, I love fruit pastels. I love fruit gums when I was a kid. Fucking loved fruit gums. I mean, they do gum your teeth together, like pouring fucking Gorilla Glue on your teeth, but still, fucking great. Talking of short-lived right-wing fads, what happened to the Tea Party promoted by Fox to undermine Obama? The Tea Party turned into MAGA. It's all the same people. That was just the first incarnation of MAGA. It's all the same people. The same millionaires, same billionaires behind it. Dark 4x4, thank you very much for the £2 super chat for the swear jar or confetti fund, either or. Thank you very much. One question for Kendall. Why did it take ordinary people to kick off about Grok being allowed to generate a CSAM before the government acted? Because the government's fucking terrified. It is not to justify the fact that they took fucking ages to actually do something about it. Although in other countries they're not doing anything about it, but at least they brought it up here and said they were gonna ban these motherfuckers. But like, Grok. But the issue is, Elon Musk is busy mates with Donald Trump, and Donald Trump can plunge thousands, tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of children in this country into poverty. And he has the executive power to do that at the moment. And apparently we're going to have a decision within days from the Supreme Court, which is incredibly corrupt, to decide whether his tariffs are legal. And of course they're going to be legal, because the people, the six of them, the six gobshites in the Supreme Court, are just going to be bribed with Winnebagos and shit, a private yacht, whatever they want, to go along with it. And don't forget, we're going to be the ones picking up the pieces from all this for years to come, for what Trump is doing and for what Trump is doing to the world economy. And like I said before, we should be poaching as many top Americans as possible. We should be going on a recruitment drive. Are you intelligent? Are you college educated? Are you a top engineer? Why not come to the UK? Let's fucking do it. Make the place look great. I like the video I saw this morning that the local Fox TV affiliate in Minnesota was giving legal advice on how to deal with when ICE agents come knocking. I guess Fox didn't approve. Yeah. I mean, the thing is that you don't have to answer the door, and they're doing a thing now, which I mentioned the other day about there's two types of warrants. There's one that's just signed by an ICE officer, which doesn't mean shit. And there's one that's signed by a judge, and it's the one that's signed by a judge that will allow them access to your home. If they don't have that, they can't come in. So apparently, according to the BBC, Wes Streeting said that he would be horrified if Craig Guilford doesn't resign today. He's added that Guilford not resigning was a stain on his character, describing it as an absolutely extraordinary situation. What's really unfortunate about this is like the right-wing gobshites have got their scalp, haven't they? Because they were going after him from the get-go for stopping this violence that might have happened. And I think he had good justification for stopping this football match, or stopping fans going to this football match. It's just not worth it. It's just a fucking football match, man. It's a fucking football match. But now the right wing have got a scalp. And unfortunately, the left won't just do what the right would do. The right would just fold their arms and go, "Oh, give a shit." On the right wing in America, an ICE agent, a federal agent, can shoot an unarmed mother of three in the face in broad daylight and get away with it and be completely supported by the government over there. And a police chief over here makes the right decision, but maybe for the wrong reasons. But still, it was the right decision to make. And he has to fall on his sword. I mean, I'd like to say that we're held on the left to a higher standard But the reality is, we're just held to standards, which is something that the right just have no clue about. They have no clue about honor and integrity, telling the truth, doing the right thing. Just means nothing to them. These people are fucking psychopaths. We've had some good news about the economy, by the way. The UK economy grew by 0.3% in November, which isn't amazing, but it's not terrible either. And apparently that beat the forecasts. Like I said at the start of the show, Grok is now going to be stopped from undressing real people. There is there's concerns for a couple who have been jailed in Tehran because the British embassy is closed over there. Craig and Lindsay Foreman, who were on a trip around the world when they were arrested in Iran in January, which is a bit terrifying. And then, apparently, according to the BBC, there's a rift at the top of the Taliban. Between Kandahar group and the Kabul group. The Kandahar group is much more isolationist, whereas the Kabul group wants to talk to other countries and allow some women to get education. So maybe they'll take each other out. Who knows? Trump has said Iran has stopped killing our protesters as the US weighs military options. And ICE have shot a man in Minneapolis with a flare in his leg. The Greenland meeting has ended with fundamental disagreement, which we've talked about. Here's an interesting one. The Senate has blocked Venezuela war powers bill after Vance breaks the deadlock. So the bipartisan measure was aimed to prevent President Trump from taking further military action in the region. The vote failed after 2 Republicans withdrew their support under pressure from the administration. So he's allowed to do what he wants. What a surprise. Cathal OG, thank you very much for the €5. Reform are down in the polls, but still leading. The latest UCOV has Lab, Con, Lib Dem, Green leaders all preferred as PM over Farage. Reform won't get 40 seats. I don't think Reform are going to win the next election. I really don't. Because people fucking hate Nigel Farage. People hate looking at him. I went to see a family member over Christmas, and she's 87 years old, and proper Scouser, and she was just in a working class area of Liverpool, and she's like, I hate Farage. His face is disgusting. I was like, yes. More seniors are being asked to care for their partners alone, which is true because care. This is an American story. This is the Washington Post, but a Washington Post reporter was actually detained. Not detained. Sorry, there was an FBI raid. There was an FBI search of a Washington Post reporter's home as a jarring new step aimed at limiting the journalists' ability to gather information. So this is on Wednesday. This is yesterday. And they executed a search warrant at a Washington reporter's home. And the search came as part of an investigation into a government contractor accused of illegally retaining classified government materials, which is a bit fucking rich considering the Trump administration, literally, when he on his way out the White House last time, he stole a bunch of papers and then tried to sell them to the highest bidder, which he did, leading to the deaths of 150 American agents around the world. That's not really covered, is it, in the papers? They don't mention that, do they? But he's shaking things up. He's shaking things up. So what else have we got in here? Scott's getting off. Bye bye, Scott. See you later. We've got and Iran says that the protester Irfan Soltani has not been sentenced to death as it reopens its airspace. So it looks like the authorities are stepping back a little bit. We don't know what's going to happen next. And it says in the technology page on the Guardian, it says Trump Musk's X to block Grok AI tool to block. They haven't done it yet. Minister said elections to zombie councils pointless as 23 authorities request delays. This is what to do with the May elections some of them being delayed. Not all of them, some of them. And France is the latest country to confirm NATO troop deployments after Trump says Greenland very important for US national security. So a bunch of different troops from different NATO countries are going to Greenland to defend Greenland against America, who are not our friends anymore. So fuck them. There's a story here about there's exclusive in The Guardian. The sports piracy explodes in UK with 3.6 billion illegal streams and the rise of black market bookmakers and bootmakers. Are supposed to make boots as well as books, but when I was a kid, I thought bookmakers made books. I thought you could go in and go, "I've written this script. I've written this manuscript. Can you turn it into a book, please?" And I was a bit older, and I found out it was a name for a gambling den where you could gamble on the GGs or the greyhounds. Feckle Puny. I don't normally make comments on people's looks. After all, there's nothing you can do about the face you inherit. Facelift's notwithstanding, however, Favi's looks unhinged. Years of hatred does it too. Yeah. Anne Widdecombe, Haiti Hopkins, they look disgusting. But then, all these younger men, like I think that Christy Nome just looks fucking horrible. She's like uncanny valley. She looks like she's fucking badly rendered AI. The woman who does the press conferences for Trump, she's fucking horrific. She's only 28. She probably looked quite nice back in the past, but she's done so much work to her face. And she's so full of hate and bile and fucking horribleness. It's just, yeah. Fuck's sake, debt collection agent at my door from 29 years ago. What the fuck? Diz? Jesus Christ. Diz? What the my God. Wow. 29 years ago. That's so fucked. I tell you what, one of the big stories that people are talking about this week is about student loans, about these fucking, I might do a whole show on this, but like the student loan trap that has people who've got student loans between, I think, 2012 and 2022 or something, are trapped in this mechanism where if they're not earning over £66,000 a year, which most of us aren't, they end up paying more in interest each year than they're paying off when they're trying to pay off their loan. So they're not paying off any of the capital. It's just paying off a bit of not even all of the interest, a bit of the interest, and they'll never ever pay it off. And this is a huge scandal that was put together under the Tory fucking government. And there you go. So yeah, there's a story on the CNN website about Trump's crazy world of milk bottles, sled dogs, and threats to bomb Iran. Trump has obviously gone fucking cuckoo. He is clearly suffering from dementia, as we saw when he just got up from the table the other day during a meeting with the oil execs to look out the window, reading out a note that was handed to him by Marco Rubio. Rubio, looking at it going and reading it out loud. He's not all there. He's not all there. This isn't like the madman strategy. He just is a madman. Talking about fucking sledges, talking about fucking, milk. What's he doing with milk on his table? He's just fucking bonkers. It's absolutely fucking bonkers. And he's got no plan. He's got no plan for the next day, or the next week, or the next year. It's always in the moment because he's got no concept of time. He's got no concept of time that's gone or time that's to come. So he goes, yeah, let's get Maduro. Let's get him out of there. Okay, and what are you going to do next? I don't know. We'll then get in the oil execs and see what they say. And the guy from Exxon Mobil says, this isn't for us. I'm out. Dragon's Den, I'm out. It's too risky. If anything, it's going to bring down the cost of the value of fuel and that value of oil, and that's not good for us. We have got 37 minutes left on the clock for the confetti, but I think we should round up the show quite soon. I've gone through all of the major news, I think, this morning. Breaking news, the US Interior Secretary and top Donald Trump official calls on the UK government not to enforce blanket ban on trophy hunting imports. Wow. Because, that's the most important fucking things, isn't it? Confetti or coffee, says Saz. Both. We want confetti and we also want coffee. Keep us awake. Keep us awake at night. Don't get me started on student loans. Mine was supposed to be cancelled due to my age, but they took me to court instead, said Diz. Jesus Christ. When I first moved into my flat, I had bailiff turn up for the previous tenant. He demanded I let him in to check that the ex-tenant wasn't hiding despite me showing my passport and tenancy. Says Chrissy, it's fucking disgusting, isn't it? And that is the best example of the way it works when we finally topple the people of a country finally topple a dictatorship, and then the fledgling democracy is left with the debts that the last fucker left behind. Martin, thank you very much for the super chat, which means 3, 2, 1. Confetti! 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 Thank you so much. That's very kind of you. Confetti fixed time, says Viper Scott. Yes, indeed. It's all good. It's all good. So thanks very much for that to Martin and to Saz and to Viper Scott for pushing us into the wonderful world of confetti. Martin says, I've got a mate, qualified art teacher who's never taken a teaching job, just a TA to stay under the threshold. Yeah. But it looks like the threshold is going to be like minimum wage now. If you're earning any money, you're getting taxed at like, I don't know, 59% or something mad. He has to come in and talk to me. Now I'm alone and still in my pajamas. What the fuck? Jesus Christ. Just fucking crazy. Yeah, Chris, I didn't know you could just ignore it. If a debt's that old, yeah, I don't think they've got a leg to stand on. 29 years. I think any debt gets written off after a certain amount of time. But yeah, that is fucking crazy. Okay, so we got the confetti. So I'm gonna fuck off now. It's 10:30. It's 10:30, and we've been going for 26 minutes and it's about 27 seconds. So I will say thank you so much for watching. I'll be back at 6 o'clock tonight with a special edition of Refuck Watch or Reform Watch with me and Ollie Bowler Hatman. 6 o'clock till 7 o'clock. We're going to be going through some of the more unhinged things that the refuck fuckers have been doing up and down councils around the country, putting up council tax, putting up flags for some reason, putting up with taking money away from vulnerable people they need to live on, taking away council tax rebates or subsidies from vulnerable people, just being a bunch of gobshites, really. Just being a bunch of gobshites. So join us 6 p.m. tonight, Reform Watch with me and Ollie Bowler Hatman. If I don't see you at that, tomorrow morning, nice and early, 9 o'clock, Morning Brew with Graham Hughes. Give us a like on the way out if you would be so kind. And if you are not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. Or maybe get a mate who doesn't watch this to maybe watch it. This show and all the others on this channel are available as podcasts, so you can listen to them while you're driving in your car without me distracting you. Hello. If you go onto YouTube Music, so just look up Politics Social on there and you should be able to find these podcasts. So that's it for today. And all that's left to say is thank you so much for watching. Hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.